vision and tension in humanity, our keynote speaker, Jim Embry, argues that our food system could be the source of transformational change for a more caring and sustainable future. Beginning in the civil rights movement, Jim has participated in most of the major social justice movements of this era, and now believes that the sustainability movement encompasses all other movements. The focus on food systems, regarding himself as an Agrarian intellectual activist, he contributes to theory and the practice of sustainable living at the local, national, and international level. In 2023, Jim was honored with the James Beard Foundation's Leadership Award for his lifelong work as a community activist advocating for sustainable living practices and Black and Indigenous rights. Please welcome Jim to the stage.
Cultivating care is going to mean dealing with the pharaohs. The pharaohs within us have all been colonized. So how do you address the pharaohs within us? The pharaohs all around us that still control whether we care or not for each other. We're going to need a radical transformation of all the institutions of this country. We're going to need a new system of economics, not based upon profit, plunder, and being predatory, but on the common health for all. We're going to need all the higher education institutions to go through a radical transformation from doing the work primarily of the 1% to the 99%. We're going to need changes in business structures and ideas that talk about heaven is somewhere up there rather than right here. So I'm encouraging us today to take just that statement and think about how can I go about my work continuously to dismantle the pharaohs within us and without us. Now I want to thank all the staff and board of OEFFA for organizing these annual conferences, first of all, and for inviting me to be here and be a part of this wonderful, inspiring conference. I want a special shout out to my brother Milo over here. And many other wonderful folks I've been interacting with, from Abby to Erica and all these wonderful folks. Because Milo reached out 2 years ago and invited me to speak in Dayton at the local conference. And as my usual habit, I was talking about the Presidential Carver, and I asked for plum food. And I asked for plum food in Dayton. I thought, well, they won't invite me back anymore. And I will recall that summer. And said, hey, we've forgiven you, so come on back home. So I am back home, that's where I'm at. And I'm trying to put this technology in here, okay? 45 years. That's what we need all across the nation. In other words, people gathered together, trying to ask the major questions of the century. As he mentioned, and I mentioned in my talk in a few minutes here, that food and agriculture represent the focal point of transformation. So I'll kind of reasons for that. The focal point of transformation. And there are two examples I want to try to provide. But we're here at the OEFFA conference in Newark, Ohio. And I thought, now Milo he doesn't get me over the door for a variety of ways to look at that whole thing called Newark. Some questions about what it means for all of us, and I hope that we leave here with a new sense of being here and all the vibrational points that are jumping around and what it means to go home. But here's my take. Here's my take on what that word means. It means our commitment, our role is to live in ways that we are part of this new art work. I forgot to ask you all, you get old and get senile people and stuff. I'm going to ask you all first. Now, my name is Jim Noah Embry. My birthday is Noah. Now, in the room, can you raise your hand? Anybody who's named Noah? Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Well, I'm going to ask that question in my talk. I hope everyone here will say, my name is Noah too. Because in this century, the role of human beings is to do what Noah and his wife and children did according to the Bible years ago. But to work at preserving all of the beauty of Earth's biodiversity. We've caused extinction, the devastation of so much. Now our work is to be a part of this new awakening of the new ark. But not just new ark, A-R-K. What about the ark, A-R-C? What does that mean to us? If you remember Dr. King's quote, the arc of the moral universe is long but bends towards what? Justice. Sounds like an old wannabe Baptist preacher, like Coleman's Lounge. So I'm going to have it open for you to come on up in there. My point is that part of this idea in Newark, Milo, OEFFA, whoever else, is to embrace these dimensions of what it means. We're here to understand cultivating care means caring for the human people, the plant people, the animal people, the air people, the rock people, the fire people, who are all our relatives. Man, Jim, you gotta put some heavy weight on us. Oh, yeah, we sure have. We've had a big footprint on the earth. Now it's time that we lighten that footprint and begin to embrace all of the parts of our family. You know, Einstein said that he wasn't a shabby guy. You hear he was a pretty smart guy. But you read this, and human beings part of the whole cosmos universe. Apart from time and space, he goes on to say that the thing we're not of nature, we are nature, is a prison. It's a pharaoh. It's a pharaoh within us. So he is saying been many other people who've given us similar sage advice. You say, Chief Shepard said, humankind is not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. What we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together. So my message today about cultivating care is this much larger sense of who we are and our responsibility. I hope one of you all's favorite human beings in the United States and the world, I hope one of you all is mine as well. So I do about 30 or 40 talks a year, and I always include him for all kinds of reasons. And he says, cultivating care, cultivating soil and souls. He says, if we do to the soil injustice, it impacts the farmer. And it's vice versa. If we do to the farmer, and he meant back then the black farmer, it also impacts the soil. Part about technology. I heard this slide ran by us today. It was a slide about, it says, made economics 360. What that means is, in America, we're conditioned to think that by the 45-degree man, maybe 90-degree mans. We go K through 12, K through 17, and we're taught to the world in a narrow way. 45, 90, if you're lucky. Maybe it's 120. I'm saying to cultivate care, you must go from 90 to 120, 180, 270, and 360. Which is also, or read by some, see the third eye, seventh chakra. Okay? That's what I'm saying. To cultivate care, and we design OEFFA conferences, we design school curriculum, we're designing urban gardens. How do we develop this 360 minutes? Chief Seattle, Einstein, and Carver talked about it. These phrases here I've been using for sometimes I'll speak. I've been working in this area for my whole life and been trying to keep advancing this notion around sustainability and the future and whatever else. And 3 or 4 years ago, I began to recognize, trying to establish my own sense of pathways to the future. How do we get to a sustainable future? And right now, for me, I'm saying each of us ought to think about establishing points of principle of pathway to the future. Use them mine. Okay? And use them all from speaking around. The first one is earth-centric, woman-centric. And they're connected. Because the oppression of women is connected to how we treat the earth, Mother Earth. We're connected. In fact, all these points are connected. Next is indigenous wisdom. Next is George Washington Carver and the African American ethos. Thirdly, arts, youth, and hip hop. And then seaboard terminology. Of those points. Last one being vision. Look on the OEFFA website and many other conference websites, and try to find OEFFA's 25, 50-year vision document. I couldn't find it. Must have been hiding somewhere. I'm sure that when I get through here, my little whoever will give me a copy of it. And we can work from there because back in 1977, when my good friend Wendell Berry he outlined some visions, first of all. If you haven't read it, that's somewhere over there. Okay? One of Barry's wonderful classic book, Critique of American Industrial-Based Agriculture. What happened? The Europeans came over and dislodged these 30,000-year-old indigenous people. We also talked about not just the 5-year farm bill, but how many year farm bill? 50-year farm bill. But vision. We're not taught to create vision. We're not taught to develop within organizations a long-range vision. I'll tell you what, if you go online and look up the World Economic Forum, they meet in Davos in a couple of years, guided by the McKinsey company, and you will see they have a 25, 50-year, the likes of Cargill, Monsanto, Bayer, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola. They have a 25-year vision, our plan, about 100 pages long. What they have. Not saying be like them, but saying, hang on with vision. So those are my pathways. And in summary, what we look at that, it means that we evolve and colonize. How do we decolonize ourselves? How do we decolonize our countries? You know, how do we feminize, earthize, and become imagineers and solutionaries? First pathway is earth-centric, women-centric. And by the way, this has been recorded. Pick it up, later on online. Not PowerPoint, you're welcome to it. Okay, that's what kind of thing. I might walk you kind of quickly on some of them. Around the whole question of Earth-centric, one piece of what's going on internationally is this new jurisprudence. They call it rights of Mother Earth, rights of nature. And various countries, even the United States, within certain governmental bodies, but in South America, the likes of Bolivia, Ecuador, some of the first countries to have in their constitution rights of Mother Earth, rights of nature. So I'm going to ask my big on model today, okay? I'm going to ask OEFFA people, and you all as well. Do you all have in your organizational mission statement, in your organizational bylaws and principles, the rights of nature? I'm just recommending that we all should do that. And we should be campaigning where we get Congress to do likewise. This pharaoh of saying humans have rights, mountains don't, the water doesn't, the plants don't, is archaic. And it keeps us from cultivating care. Right to nation. So, part of our work then, as we're assembling here, isn't just to do a conference or to have a kids' garden or grow food and things, cover cropping and regenerative ag. That's all fine. But part of our work has become a good answer. Woman-centered, what does that mean? Again, these are all interconnected. You're all interconnected. But woman-centered, it means that as we're thinking about sustainable communities, we're reminded, if I could be wrong, I forget things. Be reminded that we all come through whom? We all come through women. We all come through women. So the future lies in how well we treat, how well we love, how well we embrace, protect women. The word woman contains woman and man. Female contains female and male. So this vision has to be about how we not only protect, love, and lift up women, but how do we give them a greater leadership role towards the future. Now, I've asked this question numerous times. I was in my soul food friends, you raise your hand, who are part of the Soul Food Organization, okay, they're in the house. I was over there in Italy back in 2000, I think it was 16, I think it was, at the Soul Food International Congress. That was me, and I asked this question, among all these wonderful soul food people around the world, what is the first, very best local food? And they were kind of stunned. And what I said was, if you all can, at your own table, answer the question, what you think it is. I gotta go back to this one, y'all, I'm sorry. But anyway, what that picture is the picture of women breastfeeding. Okay? Pictures all around the world, women breastfeeding. Because again, we come to conferences about local food, about food, and nothing about women breastfeeding. Now, how can that be? How fundamental in our whole human trajectory of 3, 4, 5 million years is breastfeeding. But again, that Pharaoh, that patriarchal definition of what is food, what ain't food, leaves out women and breastfeeding. Now, this is my guy from Kenya. Sister here, went off and got all kinds of degrees. She came back home with a potential career of being, a diplomat and whatever else. Then she went out into the rural areas and met with the rural women who would have a real hard time getting firewood. Have a real hard time with a variety of things. She said, well, maybe my role in life isn't to be a diplomat in that sense, was to help organize rural women and address their overall problems. She began the Green Belt movement. She and her sisters planted about 30 million trees, which means they went out into the forest to gather seeds, to put them in a nursery, to then grow and plant 30 million trees. The point is, what she did, she connected in Kenya the deforestation, the cutting down of forests with women's oppression. And they were able then to topple what's called the Moi dictatorship, bringing in a more parliamentary form of government. She got chosen to be a part of parliament and won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's when we connect these issues, called environmental issues, with women's oppression. One example, if you go to India, my dear friend, Mama Shiva, is very similar. I went to school, came back with a PhD in physics, went out, and the chip code women, the free people, met with them and changed her whole life. Read about it. This book here is written by a dear friend of mine, Matt Brazil, who also wrote the book Queen Sugar, that Oprah Winfrey brought the rights to it into a TV series. This book symbolizes woman-centric. On the front cover are two sisters, good friends of mine. You all might know them, Mia and Michael Penniman. And to me, that image is the image for this century. That image is the image for the century. It reminds me of some of those older folk of the image around World War II, called Rose of the River. Okay? When they went into the industrial plants to work, men fighting the war. That was the image of that period. We're saying now, for the century, this image ought to be what we should all be. Get this book, first of all, and begin having this part of all our operations. Two women returning to the land. It doesn't just mean two women. It doesn't mean two black women. It means all of us. Must find ways to connect to the land. It could be in your own home, as my sister here is doing Jennifer Bailey, and we're doing a workshop here at 10:45. She's growing mushrooms in her apartment. I'll tell some friends of mine, just get you a jar lives. Okay? Anyway, this image here, this book that I have also an essay in this book. I have on my front table here some copies. We'll have some more as well as a workshop. This is the title of my essay, talking about these ancestral vibrations. And I had meant to do, forgive me again, my brain is fossilized. I was going to open up actually with a point of vibrations. If I can do that, I'll do that now. Point of vibrations to all of our ancestors because we're here because somebody else made way for us. Okay? That's why we're here. So I ask you all to listen think quickly about what came before you and call it sit next to you. Okay? And I'm talking about not just the human ancestors, okay? I'm talking about all the other earth ancestors that made it possible for us to be here. And I have a special libation for the fungi, the fantastic fungi. There's a fungus among us, and as the earth evolved and life came out of the ocean onto land, the fungi were pretty fundamental. Okay? In all of our work, we should again connect, learn about, read about, touch fungi. Because what about cultivating care? The fungi cared about us enough. Us being earth, family. To begin working their magic 500 years ago. And they still work their magic even today. If you are a good farmer, then you're really farming fungi and all things in the soil because we don't grow anything. We plant things, yes. We grow nothing. With the soil, the water, the sun, the air, the moon, is what grows them. So, I'm saying, I'm both ancestors. Thank you for allowing that. Another book here about Leah Penman is also, for me, a book about cultivating care. Okay? It ought to be a part of all you all's reading material. Talking about Black. And again, I'll say this book, you can read the title of it. Look at me, farming while European, farming while Asian, farming while gay and queer, farming while young person. Okay? Read it that way. It's a wonderful book that helps understand about rituals as part of this whole idea of cultivating care. Because sometimes in our construct, we leave rituals out. Like they mean nothing. She is saying rituals help establish and ground a community of care. Women-centric. Years ago, I worked with a youth program for several summers, and the public idea was to do murals. They're still hanging in Lexington. And even back then, in 2008 and 2009, I was pitching this idea of women-centric. This is just one of the murals that got developed by these young people who are all high school students, symbolizing, that women hold up the world. Okay? Even though James Brown said, there's a man's world. And he said, there will be nothing without a woman girl. James Brown said, that's all right. Indigenous wisdom. Again, we've created a culture where we've caused a decimation of 90%, taking land, stolen land, used land. I'm saying now, the way forward has to be how well we embrace, understand, connect with, relate to, be in right relationship with indigenous people. They are an essential pathway to the future. Okay? When I was in Tennessee back in December, organizing a conference there in Tennessee, I reached out to the chief of the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma, North Carolina, and invited their involvement. I said, wait a minute. Y'all could call us. You kicked us to the curb. I said, no, it'll be easy here. So he sent to Oklahoma, Chief Hoskins, sent 2 people to Tennessee with us. I suggest, in future OEFFA conferences, reach out and have a great presence with business people, and reach out. I reached out here before I came to different Native American groups in Ohio, as well as other African American groups, blah, blah, whatever. But anyway, I'm saying we need to have them present. And they came in and gave us a whole cosmology of seeds and so forth. They are an important aspect of it. And I've been in Ohio to see the various Native American mounds and vibration points, circle mounds, and there are a bunch of them around here. I'm saying maybe in future conferences, maybe organize a tour, a side trip to one of these mountains to get this vibration energy that we need for the future. So we're working in Tennessee and Kentucky with the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, Sidebar, and what they do, energy production and damming, that kind of thing. They called us last year, said, hey, you all are working here in Tennessee, Kentucky around seeds, and we want to expand our work around seed farming, seed saving, we work with 20 tribes. They said, you can 20 tribes, and we want to expand our work with them with seeds, the TVs. My point is there are a lot of things going on around the country to get a more right relationship with indigenous people. This is a map of the country pre-colonial. That was about one of the concepts that we utilize in all kinds of ways. I did Turtle Island, the whole cosmology of how North America developed with the age of turtle. Understand that whole cosmology. We can use that. Here's an example how you implement with kids. We have kids I work with in Detroit and Kentucky, and we do these straw bale constructions. And then we would take the turtles. Well, here was a Hopi elder that came to Detroit, and I was there in 2004 to bless it and share some of his elder wisdom. Again, this is Mark. There's a movement jump. I think you all had Roland White here last year, right? Okay? You know, Roland is part of that whole movement around segregation. I hope you all, again, utilize that in your local work. Look at what the word means, look at what's going on around the country. I suggest as well that this video here is beautiful, it's fabulous. It explains this whole idea of seed returning home. I'm sure we're going to touch on it when she was here last year. It's a great video here. Add to your items. In Montana, about 20 years ago, the state government, after being encouraged and for many years, many decades, to teach Native American culture and history within the public schools. They finally got some sanity 20 years ago. We approached about 19 or 20 tribal elders and said, we need you all to come in and design a curriculum, and we then have K through 12. Every student in Montana will then have education about Indian people. Now, I'm asking my little again, or anybody in there, where within your organization, within your conference, within your NGO, within your city government, is this something similar here? Because again, the Pharaoh is, we don't think it's important. Even though cultivating care The folk have been here 10, 20, 30,000 years. Anyway, so I'm encouraging everyone to find ways to adopt in your organization, in your farm, Native American, indigenous wisdom and culture. What's time we have?
It is 9:45.
Okay, great. Northwestern Farmer. Again, we're talking about food agriculture in the future. I regard him as a pathway to the future. I'm sure some of you all are saying the question mark. Now, Carver was a peanut guy. You know, he was a peanut wizard. That's all he did. Why is he never decided to Northwestern Farmer? Understand why? I regard him as a guidepost for the future. Right now, the future, in some ways, already with fires, droughts, rivers drying up, floods, kind of desolate. But he's leading this green future. And I'm saying that our work is to find ourselves somewhere in this patch. I'm not saying he's the only person that's a guidepost, but he is the essential person to the guidepost of the future. You know, he spent his long over in Washington and Tuskegee. His primary work was saving, helping replenish the black soils and black souls. That was his work. They were combined. He was separated. That was his work. He had a vision, called a vision. He here before had a whole green vision. This book here is a wonderful book. It's on the bookshelf. And the vision was we're going to center industrial manufacturing on using agricultural products grown by U.S. farmers. They were making car bodies from soybean oil. They were doing biofuels. Read that book. All things we're doing now, recycling, zero waste, non-dairy stuff, they're already doing. Okay? I have a vision. Now, how many of y'all know that Gandhi and Carver were friends? I didn't know either. I began discovering 6 to 8 years ago that Gandhi had reached out to Carver. He heard about this old black guy in the South working with peasants, but also being with the presidents. And I got to know this guy. So Gandhi in the 30s sent over an emissary to meet with Carver, which is the real deal. Man, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. Went back home and said, hey Gandhi, man, this guy is magnanimous. This guy is doing the work. In the 30s. Then in the 30s, in the 40s, back in Howard Furman, theologian, friend of Carver's, and many people, went to India. So Carver said, he went to the Far East. Carver said, if you go to India, and it wasn't an email message, and it wasn't instant. He said, here's a note, a handwritten note, take it to my friend Gandhi, and then know that I love him, he loves me, and wherever. So Howard did that in the 30s. In the 50s, a guy named Benjamin Mays went to India. Carver said again, well, he's going to go to India. He said, no, my dear beloved Gandhi. Benjamin Mays did that. Now, Benjamin Mays was the president of Morehouse College. If you know who was Morehouse, King was Morehouse. Benjamin Mays knew King's daddy and mama. He knew King as well. He told King, there's a guy out there in India that's preaching nonviolent resistance. You're thinking this civil rights movement. You might not know the brother. That's how King developed the Gandhi nonviolent philosophy in Carver. And y'all still, I see this is a question, y'all still got questions of why Carver is important. This is easy. Carver was friends with all the presidents. He went to Iowa State, where Carver's friend, grew up with him, whatever, and then they all became Secretary of Agriculture. Okay? Both bosses. So Carver was friends with Secretary of Ag and all the presidents. Carver introduced the idea of victory gardens in World War I and World War II. This image here is a picture of my great-grandfather and Carver. My great-grandfather was born when Hugh Carver was born. He also he was enslaved, came out of enslavement. He went to college in 1879 in Korea. They became good friends. And my grandfather brought Carver, Louis Du Bois, Ivy Wells, Mary Church Well, to Richmond, what's called the College of Chicago. I have a long personal family connection. This author here describes that family lineage. Also, Carver was friends with these dudes. Okay? Einstein, Thomas Edison. Edison offered Carver $100,000 to move from Tuskegee up to his Edison Electric lab. Carver said no. They were both friends with Carver. But what they said about him, they said Carver was the greatest scientist of their era. That's what they said. And they weren't shabby. Okay? They didn't say the greatest black scientist. And they didn't say the greatest American scientist. Okay? Because he had a 360 lens. That's right. So I hope you all have been provided some rationale, some thoughts about how Carver is so key. I'm moving through here. This is a picture here of enslaved people. Talking about cultivating care. Again, enslaved people, as you all know, the Civil War broke out. Douglas advised Lincoln to let the brothers fight. Lincoln said, no, it's the white man's war. We're not going to let black folk up in here until the North was losing. And then Lincoln backed up and said, hey, Douglas, how can we get people recruited? Not a problem. 200,000, next image is here. This is how we looked at one point in time, enslaved. And then, here's how we looked in the Civil War. Okay? 200,000 black men and women fought the Civil War, turned it around. And I had in the USCT, I had 3 grandfathers who fought the war. One of them died. When they died was my great-great-grandfather. His wife survived, so I'm here today. But if you read their muscle-in papers about the occupation, you know what they were? Occupation. They were farmers. They were farmers. In my view, these black folks saved the nation and reunified the nation. What they did literally, left the farm, picked up guns and swords, and the war ended. What did they do? They turned the swords politics. The point is that talk about cultivating care. These folk cultivating care. So wait a minute now. That was we've been enslaved for 200 years. And now you're telling us to fight. Okay. We're going to fight for our freedom, freedom of our children, our lives, and fight to reunify the country. That's care. By farmers. That's why I say there's impossible situation. That's our role now. Not really impossible. That's our role now. As farmers, as activists, as scholars, as students. It's a help transform. But we have to understand from this mission and embrace it. We celebrate Juneteenth in June. It's all great. I'm saying we also celebrate reunification. Because if they hadn't fought the war, the South would have won, and we would be like South Korea was to be. There'd be no UN, the world would be entirely different. It'd be entirely different. But for these truths, and follow that. Youth art and hip hop, I won't belabor this a whole lot. Art's important. Put in Milo earlier, the importance of art. Young people, hip hop. We got some young people here. It's important to do that wherever we do. Hip hop, I'm saying when I go around the world, every country I go to, every country, I'm hearing hip hop. Where do I go? I'm hearing it. I'm saying Milo, no staff. How you incorporate art using hip hop. Hip hop folk can memorize 100 songs, word for word. So why are we bringing in TV? Now don't mean the honeybee. I mean Beyonce or Lizzo or whoever else. Bringing music about Blood have Usher singing or whoever the Super Bowl about what we're doing. But we're not. That's a failure. That's a failure. Okay? And before we do, we try to imagine how to use young people, incorporate different kinds of things that connect us with playing flowers and whatever. And I gave a talk about 2 years ago at the Dope Conference. It was asked to incorporate the ecofuturism, the work of Auntie development. You all know about her work, you have it, you can read it. So some of the images of how we can incorporate art for young people. My thought is, we should let everyone who's a young person be like Carver. And what he did, for his history, he spent the first 6 to 8 years in the garden, in the forest, talking to the trees, the plants, the animals. They were his playmates, and they were his teachers. So you're saying, Embry, if we want to develop young people, be like Carver, put them in the garden? Absolutely. If we want to develop a 360 lens for kids, put them in the garden. Sorry about that. Free work terminology. My sister here and I are going to be doing a workshop at 10:45 called Seed Commons. Come to that. Many of you all already working seeds. And what we're saying is that the foundation, food ag, or the foundation, sustainability. Okay? Local food, just food, bioregional food, is foundation for sustainable community. But the foundation of agriculture are seeds. And we've been bamboozled. What the Pharaoh is, we all have embraced the seed work. And we're saying it's fundamental. Seed work, Terra Madre is every 2-year event. Talks about international soul food occurring this fall in September. I know OEFFA already has a Terra Madre group going, okay? And the sister here from State, okay, is organizing these young folk to go to Terra Madre. I'm saying we should all connect up with, because this is a global movement about cultivating care. We have these central themes around men, became a siege, they're called two sisters. These embrace words like that with their family. If you go out west, where they grow corn, it's called the grandmother, not just corn. I'm involved in the genre seed network, with online catalog, look us up, get involved. As Milo mentioned, I got this gym on the James Beard Awards. There were 6 people who got the awards. 3 of the people were seed people. Roy White, Howard Wallace, and myself. And they said, you were introduced by a woman named Jessica B. Harris. You might know her, Hannah Mahone, wonderful dear sister. She introduced us, look here. You 3 people, we chose you all in particular who were seed people. Because we know how important and fundamental seeds are. Some wonderful books I've been reading, encouraging from me is called Seed Folks. This is about a young Asian woman who's doing some seeds. She goes to her community, empty lot full of cans and bottles and rats and all kinds of stuff, puts seeds in the ground, and she transforms her community. This book ought to be, again, in your library and part of how you do your work of involving young people in the work of transformation. So again, the Target Project movement, we do a lot of things with our own university. I've got a book coming out in September about my 7 trips there. So look for that in September. The new president is able to keep our health training. He's been a wonderful friend, wonderful leader for about 40 years. Passed the time on to Embry from Uganda. He's a farmer, seed keeper, but he's now face a slow food. Vision. Carter said, with no vision, there's no hope. They had a green vision, moving forward. Part of the idea of posing care means we must operate in a way that does one earth.
It's 10.
And not 5 words. 0 carbon, 0 waste, same transport, same water, coast and heritage. These 10 points I've been discussing for a bunch of years. Now, real quickly, we're all aware that in Europe and India, the farms are raising hell. They're blocking roads in major cities. They're committing suicide. I predict by midsummer, we're going to see this global movement of farmers protesting because we know how we're treated. We understand how we're regarded. You pay someone to shoot a ball to a hoop, $150 million a year, before farmers will work a job, plus 40 hours or more on the farm. We've got some priorities to work on. But I understand knowledge of these farmers, many who've been killed in Israel, by the way. This is a protest in Europe, and I won't get into that. This is an idea of how we use local land. Planet News about it's a critique of the higher education. This book says, universal outbreak as if the earth doesn't matter. They give a kind of critique of that, and they kind of give an idea of how to operate higher education as if the earth mattered. Kind of neat. I have read this book in 2010. In there are a bunch of ideas about how to cultivate care. Okay? Great book, it's beautiful. Looking back is okay. We've done, we kind of look back. According to St. Coltenberg, we must look back and get wisdom seeds for the future. White Robert says, inspired webs unite and tie the line. That's how it works sometimes as farmers and teachers and educators is create these intricate networks to then help tie up these favorable lines. Let's get through these and end up here. Just one here. I met our guy Roy in Brazil way back in 2004. cultivating care. You say, Jim, you mentioned in the front end about those pharaohs. You said we must transform all institutions. I sure did. Message will be impossible. We're doing this. Put this together if we can. See what our learning says. It says, what now? Another world, not only possible, is on your way. If you listen, you can hear a breathing. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. And I think I'm certainly ready as we go into another year.